Yo, what's up?
Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there.
I was gonna say, Jake, hit him with the intro. Or
I had the shirt on, I realized it, so I'm like, oh shit, where's that 22 at? And it's, it's heavy. Now my back hurts. So
It's funny. Everybody had the 22 to do that little pose over there.
Right? Or at least an empty joke.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
This one I actually got from a old co-worker of mine. He was like cleaning out his grandfather's barn, and he passed it along. I said, "I'll take it."
I've got a empty drum with the tops twisted off of it. I can't do anything with it.
Yeah, she's the full bitty. Oh.
The knob broke or something, or what?
Yeah, the little twisty knob on the top. The drum was so old when I tried to open it up, it broke, and now I can't do anything with it. I've still got it. I'm think
let it to the ocean, bro. Throw it off a roof, Kurt.
Run over it.
Smash it with a hammer, bro.
I need a bigger hammer.
Just do what you do best. All right, cool, sweet, fun.
Oh, never mind. He disappeared again.
Yeah.
We'll see if he figures it out so we can bring him on. But how's everybody doing? People are coming in already. What's everybody up to? What do you guys? How's your work week been?
For me, rainy, wet. Canceled a couple jobs today. Couple installs went in. Doing the install tomorrow. And then the video I just did was one of the days. So nothing crazy, nothing extreme, but keeping busy during this time of year is key, and we have been. So,
well,
that's good.
I don't like doing the preventive maintenances, so I don't do a lot of them. So I just sort of tomar una siesta.
You can't do this, okay?
We're all very fluent. Like we're all very fluent in Spanish, right?
We might at 10 o'clock. I might just kick back and.
My man, yeah. Take a nap. That's what it is, right? Isn't that siesta or something?
Yeah.
So has it slowed down for you then?
Yeah, things have slowed down a little bit, but it's kind of a relief because this summer seemed like it was never gonna stop.
Yeah.
This was a rough one this year. I feel like
it was weird because it started late at the same time, right? I mean for us here, right? Usually it's earlier in the year. I forget what got heavy. It was an odd year.
But then like when it got here, it was crazy hot. Yeah.
Especially out there in Texas. I was watching the news and y'all caught hell for a long time.
Yeah, I know Jason Johnson's in the chat now. He knows what's up because we were talking about it. Yeah, he's like hot as Hades here in Texas. We were averaging like 115, 117 for a while. I was like, dude, I'm ready for it to end. I'm so glad we finally got some better weather because
and do y'all have the humidity like we have down here?
Yeah, it was like 70 something percent. Yeah, 80.
We'll hit that 100%. I mean, here, Kurt, you?
Yeah, we'll get in the 90s, and if it's 95 degrees and you're in the 90s on the humidity, it is.
Oh, that's just the worst, dude. It's that humidity that gets you.
Hey, Brett, can you hear us?
My shit is table's dirty, boy. 180s.
Brett, nod if you can hear us.
Oh, is he backstage or what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
what's up, Brett?
See, someone's being stupid because my audio is not going through the sound like the thing is. I can hear you through the speakers, and that's not what it's supposed to happen.
Unbelievable.
Are you in Houston right now?
I am.
But yeah, man, we have that hot weather, and I'm so glad it's over. We had a lot of rain recently, like you guys, but it finally stopped. Like today, it got sunny again, so I was like so glad for that.
There's sunshine tomorrow. I think got a duck job next week. And then we got y'all.
How much of a duck job? How much you got to do?
Too much. One run's too many for me. Redo the whole thing. It's it's a 2.5 ton system on a 2,000 square foot house. So
Don't be lying.
dead ass. Well, they just kept adding. They took the garage and they made it a whole room. So they got a bunch of portables and window units. So we're gonna redo it all.
Did you figure it out, Brett?
I did. I'm
Okay.
stupid and I'm tired. So yesterday, I'm on a deadline because we're having our first Coolest Lake commercial class on the 27th, and so yesterday I started work I was at the office at 6 a.m. and I left 3:30 this morning.
Oh shit.
And so yeah, so I have 2 other cats with me helping me do some stuff because I had to check all the stuff, the equipment that I was given to make sure there's nothing crazy. We converted all the units that I bought from natural gas to LP, and so it was the first time that I actually had time to fire them all up. The other thing I did was, and you saw this when you were down in Houston with me. We had the 2 split systems that had the 2 condensing units that were on top of each other. Right, there was a freezer and a cooler. And I said, yeah, we're gonna have case controllers hooking up to it. So that's what I've been working on, trying to get those in there. So now you have the option of actually running the single freezer and the single cooler, not only off the mechanical time clock, but also off the case controller. So you have the option of doing that. And then on top of that, so there's 2 K2 case controllers right next to each other. There's a evaporator efficiency one, and there's another one that's usually on Trenton units. That's a ESP. And then so those take the same pressure transducers and the same temperature sensors. So basically you can just take the wires off of one and hook it on the other. I didn't have enough time to hook up the electronic expansion valve because the idea is that we're going to have a mechanical expansion valve here and then electronic expansion valve. You'll have a ball valve before the mechanical expansion valve. So I can basically shut off the mechanical and then make it run off the case controller, which will run the electronic. And then on the other side for the freezer, I have I guess now it's called Copeland. It was Emerson Copeland Dixel 679, which is just another form of case controller. Yeah. And then we have Sporlan S3C, which is really cool. You'll see them in who uses them a lot? Sam's Club, Walmart, usually a little tan display about this big. And those are Wi-Fi. So you can actually push a button and then link it up on your phone and you can look at everything. Like you can look at the discharge air temperature instead of like thumbing through all the parameters, to get to one point to another. It actually brings it all up and you can graph it from there. And it'll take X amount of data. So you can actually, if you had a problem, you can graph it back and be like, oh, this problem seems to happen at, this time, so you can link it up to something that's going on, whether them opening up the doors or whatever, you know what I mean? So it has a whole bunch of full capabilities.
And what deadline did you have on that again?
Well, it's classes in 2 weeks. And I have everything up and done except for I didn't have any time to pull vacuums. There's so many fires. So someone sent me a drive that wasn't programmed from Wisconsin. So I programmed the drive and then I had to send that back today, a VFD drive. And then I got a guy in San Antonio that's ready to punch someone in the face because, the controllers are just being dumb and they're antiquated. They're old and the manufacturer doesn't support them anymore. So I got called today. So there's a high probability I'll probably be flying down to San Antonio, maybe Sunday night. That's unless my wife punches me in the no spot for having to travel again. And
does she go with you?
No, because the kids are in school.
Yeah, that's right.
Take them out of school. Just take them out of school.
Yeah, but who's going to pick them up when they get back?
Sarcasm.
No, I know. I'm messing with you because I'm just going to let you know I live in an HOA. Those are the type of people that if you grab your child wrong, they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm calling CPS." You're going to get, you got to get an interview and a P test just to make sure you're a good parent.
Very true.
All right. Well, some of that probably went over these guys' head.
Sorry,
Jake and Curtis
I have that set up in my house right now. Like you should see the freezer that I have. Impeccable.
Jake and Curtis do residential, and Brett here does a lot of supermarket stuff. But I'm pretty sure, like Curtis, did you see that video that I did at his facility? Because he had a whole training thing.
I did see some of it. Yeah,
it's pretty cool because he has all the. It's not just supermarket stuff. It's like a little bit of everything. So I thought that was really neat.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be complicated if you got two different ways of controlling the same piece of equipment.
Well, it's like you have so many different manufacturers of stuff, right? So, just like in residential, right? You have like 13 different manufacturers that make the same thing, right? So we have, how many different supermarket chains are there across the country, right? So some technicians have to be versed in this, some technicians have to be versed in this. So that it's just a little bit of versatility. So, they have a little bit of everything. I actually just started up my first two-stage LP gas furnace today. I've never
Let's go.
like the one that has like the 2-speed Deucer draft motor, and then it has the 2 pressure switches, so it knows what the inches of water column are at this and versus another.
That's kind of common in residential.
No, well, I mean, I haven't done residential since 18 years ago.
Solid.
I mean, you prefer what you do?
Yes, because I don't like people. Well, no, not that I don't. Like
Brett's my kind of guy. That's why I don't do residential.
Debatable though. I mean,
well, no, because I had a lady one time. It was in the middle of summer, obviously, and I put in a compressor for her, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. You're all set. House is cooling down. I just need to check for, I think it was 406, whatever it was, compressor change. Yeah, well, okay, we got to remember I'm old and you're like 12, so that's why. So
13, bro. Balls dropped, hair's growing.
so anyway, I says it'll be 406, and she's like, no, that's not what I was quoted. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, it was supposed to be 402. I'm like,
what?
Damn.
Bro. Okay.
I hate those.
It's a quote, subject to change. I'm sure there's a little tax in there. Maybe someone screwed up. They didn't put the extra decimal in there to give the extra $1 or $2. And I was like, if I don't get a check and I go home, I go back to the shop tomorrow. My ass is gonna be a sling, not yours. And she's like, well, I don't care. I need to talk to your boss. I was like, well, he's probably drinking a whiskey and probably smoking cigars. So you're probably not getting a hold of him. And she's like, well, I'm not paying you. I was like, we have 2 options right now. Option A, you give me a check. Option B, just letting you know that compressor comes out real fast. A lot faster than what it would hit. And it's technically still my property until you pay me. You choose.
Which one?
You got to check.
For 402 or 406?
For 406. But then I got, my boss called me out the next day. He's like, I need you to show the shop. I got a big complaint about you. I was like, and I knew what it was. Like, I knew. I was like, oh, here it comes, right? So I show up, and he's like, what's this? You were giving this nice lady a hard time. I was like,
oh, gee, yeah.
Is nice lady a euphemism for something that I don't understand? Is that code for something like not being nice? And he's like, no. She was really nice on the phone. I was like, sure she was, because she wanted her $4 that she was fighting. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, she didn't want to pay because it was $4 more or whatever it was. And I said, what would you have done if I didn't show up with a check today? Well, I would have been pissed. I'm like, case in point. So I'm not doing that. So I just said politely that I could pull out my property quick, and then she didn't have to pay it all.
Back, I don't do a whole lot of home warranties anymore, but I was doing a home warranty, and it was an older woman and her daughter at the house.
Yeah.
And they needed a whole new replacement. And I told them, I said, look, I'm going to try to help you get this thing completely replaced. But you should know there's things that they don't cover. And they started giving me the 3rd degree, like I was trying to rip them off, and I'm really trying to help them. And it got so bad, I just turned around, walked out the door, and on my way out, I said, damn. And went to my van, and that woman's daughter came out and she dressed me up and down, and I was like, if you want to talk to somebody like that, talk to somebody else. I don't need that shit.
Well, I was young, so I was a young kid that didn't know anything, which I didn't. But yeah, that's why I don't like residential. Like, I think I did residential for about 2 years, and I went straight to commercial. And then I was working a lot, and I was working on doing some other stuff. It was just, life was too busy. So I went back to doing appliance work. And then I remembered, I don't like booties and I don't like people. So I'm going to opt for commercial all day long.
Yeah, that's how I am too, man. I love commercial. I don't know if I could do supermarket. That's a little Whoa.
What
Okay.
happened?
I have no idea.
All right, me and you. Go.
No. But yeah, man, that's awesome. The whole the training facility you guys have over there. I think Jason was in he's here in the chat. Told you to go to Austin over there. He's only an hour and a half away.
I'll let you know. I'll text you if I'm heading down that way. I don't know. Like I said, if I still have to tell my other boss that has a wedding ring of mine, and you know, depending on whether I'm going to get kicked to the junk or not, you know, we're gonna see.
Hey,
Case
Brad,
control.
ever hear tell of any issues with case controller relays using ECM motors in the case? They have a lot in the store that had a lot of fan relays stick closed.
You want to give me a brand? I can do some research for you. I mean, you know, it depends on, you know, so sticking, like, are the contacts being like burnt shut, or the mechanics just stuck into the closed position? So sometimes on ECM stuff, where it has like a dual speed, a lot of times someone just even forgets to hook the damn relay up. So that could be it. I don't know. You know how to get a hold of me. Text me some particulars, and we'll try to figure it out.
The right tech. Oh man, scheduling residential is the worst. Can you come next Thursday at 9:45? Who knows?
Who knows?
How do you schedule your stuff, like Kurt? Because you do like you're have a lot of calls. I see.
Well, I put them on the schedule at a certain time, and I try to make it at that time. But I tell them, you know, I'll try to be there between like 10 and 11. And if it don't work out, I call them and I tell them I'm going to be a little bit late, or if I can come early, I call them and ask if I can come early. I just try to keep them in the loop because that schedule changes all day long.
Yeah, I think that does for everybody. You Kraus, does everything
It's
go to schedule for you?
solid 4-hour window. So we just do a book up. We got a 8 to 12 and 12 to 4 window, and you pick, and tend not to go above 6 calls. You know, obviously, like, it depends on how the day's progressing.
You're not one of those guys that always comments like they do 10 to 20 calls.
Yeah, I'm not anymore. Like, nah, dude. The most I ever ran probably was like 12 or 13. And I value my time more than the dollar these days, right? And it's like, I'll work them, like, you know, if just depending. Like, we're not going to book out maintenances if calls are coming in. We'll schedule the maintenances. We just push it around. Again, it's just me and dispatcher, and we just figure it out how the hell it goes as we go. And if there's more than 5, it'll be like, hey, can you handle this call? See what the time is. Boom, okay. Because generally, a lot of my calls are in the same vicinity, anyways. I don't have a 60-mile radius like a lot of people, or whatever y'all supermarket people would do, like a couple hours this way, a couple hours that way. Nah, I'm generally within like 20 minutes of my calls.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to squeeze in people and stuff, and then like even more so because it's like we have to prioritize the stuff, right? So like if a freezer goes down, that's more important than some other stuff. And it's all about like the product and on all that. So,
well, Kraus, how many people are like at the company that you work for?
Just me.
That sucks.
It's really good, actually. Trust me.
Well, no, what I mean is, like, so I was gonna say, like, well, can't you just have like one guy, you know, be the guy that's going to knock out all the calls, and the other person, you know, do a PM in the morning, and then you can plan some of the other stuff, but you're the only guy. So
yeah, no, it's
same here. Same here. I'm the only one.
I'll have to give it a little backstory on the way the business I'm in's operating. It was a business that was ran for 35 years. The guy died. My buddy, Marine Cat, he was like an investor and stuff like that. He bought the company, needed someone who basically knew what they were doing in terms of the field work, and I do all that jazz. And
wait, so he doesn't do any work?
No, he does. He'll
like HVAC work.
He's getting there. We're trying to train him. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like he's definitely like in the field in the train. Like, he helped me do that duck job. He gets down and dirty. Like, he's a Marine. He's a gritty guy. You know what I mean? He's not scared of it. It's just, you know.
How'd y'all handle the licensing?
So he's got his license.
Wait a minute, he's got a license and don't know how to do it.
You know, let's see, it's weird down here in Florida. You just got to get your contractor's license, right? And so with his military thing, he was able to like expedite it too because you only need a shorter amount of time.
Well,
But-
it's all books. Like when you get your
That's
license.
exactly right. That's why it's like that in my market, it's very saturated. I don't know. Like I was talking to my old boss one time, and he was saying in like our little city, there was like 500 contractors or something, like HVAC contractors. It's just because you could be a book nerd and just take the test and get your which is annoying because it's very annoying. And then there's people that lease out their licenses. Another buddy of mine, he pays some guy like $600 or $700 a month for his license to do all that, and that guy has about probably like 50 people because there's a website for it, and it's crazy, right?
There's other
in
cats.
Georgia,
Oh, sorry.
in Georgia, you got to work for somebody else for 5 years before you can
that's exactly
test.
right.
Oh yeah. Ours is like 4 years.
Yeah, but after that, a lot of different states, like all you have to do is you don't have to meet. You already have to meet the time requirement for what you have.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like for state licenses, what they'll do is hey, I'm gonna just end up getting licenses in 20 states and just lease those out and just sit pretty.
Then that's all they're doing. Yeah, that's what they do.
It's a nice little side hustle.
Well, like if you guys follow Mikey Pipes and stuff, he just got his Florida A and B down here. Like so he's it's very simple, I guess. I don't know.
He's trying to work in South Carolina too.
Yeah. So it's weird though, because I think I heard on Guild podcast there's only 18 states that require like those specific requirements for like you got to have your masters and this, that, and the third to you got to know what you're fucking doing to actually do what you're doing. You know what I mean?
And then in the other states, you don't. You just do it.
So that's good for just work. I mean,
yeah, man. Congrats.
Congratulations.
I need like little sound effects. I need like claps and stuff.
Yay!
Oh, there I got Kraus.
When I was in Pennsylvania, there's no.
They
license.
don't have it either. Yeah,
they don't have an actual contract. Or I'm sorry, they have the contractor's license, but they don't have the actual tech license, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Texas, you get a participation trophy. Like I just showed up, and they're like, "Oh, here's a license." You know what I mean? Like not the contractor one, but that's how it was when I rolled in. Yeah. But when I was in Connecticut, I actually had to go through an apprenticeship program.
Yeah.
Hey man, I earned my license.
Your contractor license, right?
Because that's what people don't understand. They made them gold now so that they're different.
So it's a legit participation trophy.
No, the other ones are not gold. There's a registration, certified, and then licensed contractor. There's 3 levels.
And what do you got?
Levels of this shit,
I'm licensed.
Bro.
Okay. Yeah.
I got the gold one. You want to see it?
I'm just saying when I got because when I got to Texas, I was like, "Dude, what paperwork do I fill out?" He's like, "Just fill out your name and your social." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, that's like the registration. That's all you need to work here, I guess.
Yeah.
I think in Louisiana you don't have to have a state license. It seems like it'd be hard to regulate the quality of work if you don't have to have a state license. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's the case.
So in Connecticut, when I moved from Pennsylvania to Connecticut, I had already been doing refrigeration 8 years, 15 years. I've been doing it like I think 8 years, right? Refrigeration and HVAC is a total. And so when I showed up, they're like, "You have to go through the apprenticeship." I'm like, what? So I had 2 kids at the time, and I was already working 80, 100 hours a week, and I was like, that's going to suck. So I ended up going to do HVAC school because I've never had really any formative training. I originally went to school for electrical engineering. And then I went for 1 semester of HVAC, just intro to like thermodynamics and stuff. And the instructor pulls me aside. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I want to be a mechanic." And he's like, "You have an engineering degree." He's like, "That's 75 to 80% of what you're going to work on is going to be electrical." I'm like, "It's like, go get a job." So anyway, when I went up to Connecticut, I decided to do this online thing called Penn Foster. So it was just a regular standard school, except for you did it on your own pace. so I didn't have to actually go to school. And I only had to take 2 physical classes. I think it was International Mechanical Code and the NEC, National Electrical Code. Those are the only 2 that I actually had to show up in person for, because Penn Foster didn't do anything. And then that's 13 years ago. So I don't know what they do now. But
I think you even need a license in Connecticut to do duct work. Like I was listening to a podcast. It was one of those whatever type of states, northeastern states, and
Northeastern.
one of them there northeastern ones. You know what I'm saying?
ain't got no gas in it. I'll get it.
Ain't got no gas. Well, there's your problem. And yeah, it's something like that. I heard it on podcast. Once I figured it out, I'll let y'all know.
I had to go through an apprenticeship program, and I had to actually have hours.
That's legit. You know, I respect.
Damn Yankees! Shut up, Jason.
Yeah, New York. But
so I mean, our topic was supposed to be leak detection. Do you guys want to know why?
Yeah, let's roll the clip.
Let me see if I can do that real quick.
Yeah, because if you didn't know, guys,
bam. Okay, hold on, Brett. This is why we were gonna do this for this week. This is Curtis's channel.
Okay.
I might play an ad.
What's your favorite leak detector there, Brett?
Why the hell is it not working?
I have two H10s, Poncho and Lefty. I've had them for probably 15 years, and I just started using the Stratus.
Well, this might change your fucking mind.
Really?
Hey guys,
There he is. Look at him.
can you fast forward through that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the end real quick. I had it loaded. Didn't want to play. Shit, too far.
Oh, too far. Damn it. That's how you fix it.
That's how you fix it.
What was wrong? I mean, what wasn't it doing?
This is Kurt.
Oh, you wanna explain it, Kurt?
Yeah.
Well, okay. That was actually my second leak detector. The first one, sensor gave me a red screen after about 2.5 months. The red screen means the sensor dies.
Mm-hmm.
I got a new sensor. They actually took one off a shelf, pulled the sensor out, gave it to me, and then ordered a new sensor for that one. And then, like another 2 months later, the air pump and the sensor went out at the same time. I sent it back. They sent me a whole new one. And here we are again, another couple of months later, and it won't pick up a leak. And then I put it on parts per million. It just goes off to 20 parts per million no matter what I do. So I said, you know what? I know how to fix this.
He was
I
fed up.
know a couple guys up in Syracuse that could have helped you with that.
They reached out to him.
Yes. They reached out to me the next day.
Hold on, before or after the smashing?
After. I got a call the next day and they said, hey, we want to make it right. And I knew that making it right didn't include sending me my money back because I just destroyed their product. So they said they were going to send me a new one and make sure it works. And I don't know if I have any faith in it or not. I'm not sure I'm going to put it on the channel because I've just had so much shit for luck with those things. They're horrible.
Oh man, yeah, that was funny because he had texted us that he had a nice phone call the next morning, and you didn't even want to take it, right, at that point?
Well, I'm reluctant.
Yeah, I would be too.
And then,
because then some people were like, "Why didn't you just give it to somebody else? Like, it's not working. Like, I don't know what they don't understand."
Give it to a kid that can turn it in for tool replacement. Now he's got a new tool.
Well, I may give away the new one they give to me.
Haven't you had that like a issue with the field piece one? I don't think you were a fan of that one either.
Yeah, the DR58. I'm also on my second one with that one. Here we were.
I don't know what kills them other than them being like faulty, I guess.
Get some water in it or
Well,
something.
talk with Shannon
yeah.
Knight about it. Shannon Knight, he's talked with several people, and they're all having the same problem with the DR58 not picking up leaks after 5-10 hours of use. It just the sensor's just fried.
I got to keep checking mine, make sure it's working because I was trying to use it today, but it was a stand-up reach-in cooler, and it's one of those at a hospital that has like where they put the trays in there, so it's like you got to take everything apart inside, all the shelving out to get to the evaporator and all that. But the leak detector didn't go off, and sometimes I think about that, especially like seeing you having issues with yours. I got to make sure that it's working, but those end up leaking because they have like I don't know if you guys deal with like the rotor lock compressors in the residential. Okay, but I hate when they put a 2-port service valve on them and they don't use like the open one because there's one that's always open and they just cap it off. They're always the plastic caps. They always end up leaking. Yeah, that's how I found those plastic caps. I never trust them.
Never use plastic ever.
So
ever,
they're supposed to be like the flared ones, right?
Yeah, like the acorn nuts.
Yeah.
And if you're not a proponent of even trusting them, I mean, what you could do is you could put actually a service valve there, right? Because if it's open, you could have another valve on there that you're going to manually open and close. You know what I mean? So it can never be a Schrader then, right?
Yeah, I might have to because this is the second one. They're brand new units, which I didn't think they were still making 134A, but they're all 134A. Yeah, I hadn't seen it in a while.
Well, so they have this new refrigerant. It's 513A. It's a HFO, hydrofluoroorofin. I think that's how you pronounce it. And so it's basically 134A with a sprinkle of R1234XY.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's still a crappy refrigerant.
I thought it was I thought that was a fake name when that came out.
No, I swear. No, I swear.
No, I know it's like what they use in the cars and stuff, but yeah, I need to do something because like one was leaking. I could not find a leak, but then I noticed the plastic caps and stuff, and I think there was like a micro leak on it. So eventually, over time, it came out, and I put brass caps on there, tightened them really good. Haven't been called back for it. It's been like probably close to a year. Now the other one gave out, or now the other one's doing the same thing because they bought like 5 of them for that little tray line that they have there. And I'm like, no, that's probably the same damn thing. I couldn't find a leak anywhere else. So,
but Goodman's doing that in their air handlers. They got a little Schrader valve in there on the evaporator coil.
Oh yeah,
and got a little plastic cap on them.
I hate the plastic caps. I feel like I always have issues, especially that because like I hate like on the commercial refrigeration side. If they're gonna use those, usually it's for like a pressure control or something where you need that open side. But like I'm like, if you're not gonna use it, put a good cap on there because like a brass cap or those flared ones, not the plastic ones, man.
It's cheap. It's cheap. That's an extra quarter they're making per unit.
I guess.
That cap's the last defense.
Let me see. Wow. Super glue. I think that I hate when people put that Loctite crap on them.
That blue stuff?
Yeah.
They deserve to be punched.
That's what I was actually kind of taught when I started. I'm like, oh, that's normal. And then I was like, oh, wait, no.
So people like the new Calgon stuff, or what's I don't use it. Stuff is basically it's thick POE oil, essentially.
Oh man, I can't. Nylog.
That's it. I actually like using Loctite 515, and I know you heard Loctite, and you're like, oh my god, why the hell would you do that? No, it's Loctite 515 is a gasket eliminator. It's usually used for like valve cover gaskets, like on vehicles. Old timer taught me this, and it stays malleable. So it's not like that blue stuff where it actually ends up being a rock. It has the tackiness of like caulk, right? So it seals, but it doesn't harden like a damn rock like the blue stuff. Actually, a couple years ago, I think it was 6 or 7 years ago. Remember, there was a shortage of that blue stuff. The
Mhm.
factory actually caught on fire, and whatever that factory was, they said they saw blue smoke coming up from the facility for a while.
Dang, where was that?
I'd have to look it up, man. It was years ago because all of a sudden like the stuff wasn't on the shelves. I was like, oh my god, did they finally just discontinue it because it's crap and everyone like curses everyone that uses it, you know? He's like, no, the building, the facility caught on fire. He's like, there was blue smoke all over the place. I'm like, oh, shit.
Wait a minute, are people putting that on Schrader caps?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot, and it pisses me off because it's hard to get off.
Well, I've seen them on like service valves that might be leaking.
But why would you do that?
Oh, well, yeah, on the service valves, on the caps.
No,
Yes.
well, so here's the thing: if you're talking about where it leaks up like through the shaft where the service valve goes in, right?
Yes, yes.
So let me state this right off the bat because a lot of people don't do this.
Oh
Okay?
yeah, forgot
and they
about that.
should. Okay, couple things. One, whenever you open up a service valve, loosen up the packing. That
Yeah.
gland in there can be rubber, but typically is almost like made of a graphite. Okay, so if you have any kind of rust, especially on a suction valve, when you go to drive it in, it's going to cut. The rust that's on the shaft is going to end up cutting that shit. So if you loosen up the packing, you're less likely to do that. But you have to also remember to tighten the packing back up.
Well,
The
some of these don't have a packing that we can loosen or tighten.
You're talking. So all right. So some of the receivers, yes, you are 100% right. I agree.
Yeah.
But what if you had the option, if it is leaking, then replace it for something that does have a packing gland. And I'm going to tell you why. What you can do in a pinch, and I've done this on a discharge line on a compressor on a service valve that was 1 5/8. Okay. All I did was, because if it's seated all the way back up, okay. You're gonna make me lose train of thought, brother. If you have it back seated, right, it's not going to allow any refrigerant to go anywhere. So if it is leaking, because it's usually only leaking when you have it like mid-seated or all the way down, right? That's the only time it's really leaking, right? So what you can do is if you take the whole packing, that brass piece off and slip it up, don't slip it up overall totally off the top, just slip it up enough. Take Teflon tape and roll it into almost like a little line, right? Maybe about yay long, and then start wrapping it and wrap around the actual shaft of it. And then as you put the packing nut back on and tighten it up, what the Teflon is going to squeeze and then push on the outside, and then you're going to stop that leak. The other thing I recommend, and I used to get my ass in trouble because I went from industrial back to commercial. So when you did industrial, you have some valves that are 40 years old, right? They're the same valves and the conception of the system. So what we used to do is put never sees on there. The stuff that makes you look like the Tin Man, you get a little bit on you and it just goes all over the place. So I was doing that in commercial refrigeration because I was so used to doing it for 5 years when I was doing industrial. And it's like, you put that on there again, we're gonna kill you. So fucking stop. So I don't necessarily do it anymore. I just, when you are about to, especially the suction one, not so much the discharge, but the suction one, before, if it does have a little bit of rust on it, take some emery cloth and just clean it off. Because like I said, yes, loosen it up, but also if you clean off that shaft, it's not going to cut into the gland that's actually in there. When repacking is almost basically the same thing as you do in like a faucet, right? Like if you know how they have the packing for the faucets that repack
Yes.
same shit. Basically doing the same thing.
What's up, Steve? Yeah. So, Kraus, what do you use for leak detection?
H10 Pro.
Oh, that's right. You said you had one. Yeah.
Yeah, I used that. I had the field piece, not the field piece. Well, I did have the original field piece one, like the real rectangle. That was ass. Got rid of that. Then Yellow Jacket AccuProbe 2, but submerged it in some water. Pump sucked it up. I took it out, cleaned the pump myself. It worked a little bit, and then it took a shit. But I do have the infrared field piece, the new one, the DR or whatever that is.
DRU2, I think.
And it's
the one that I have too.
I haven't had an issue with it. But it's
I just had the issue where it goes crazy for a while. Like it's just beeping the whole time.
okay.
But I had that issue with another infrared from Hillmore, and I don't know, it won't work, and then the next day it'll work. I don't know what it is, but it's only happened once with each one. But other than that, I've had good luck with
hammers to them. That's all.
There no hammer fix yet.
Nah.
Curtis, what are you using now that you kind of put the kibosh to the Stratus?
I'm learning to use the AccuTrack.
Oh yeah,
The Supersonic, the sound.
Ultrasonic.
Ultrasonic, yes. I'm learning to use that, and I bought a JB Prowler. And in the past, they've been pretty dependable. I just was shooting for dependability. It don't have to be the best. It just needs to work.
So I have to ask where I just actually replaced my evaporator on my residential unit at the house, and apparently I have to do the other one. Is it because they're making the aluminum like thinner than a soda can? Is that why they have so many damn leaks? Is it because the unit isn't pitched right to get all the moisture out of the pan? It's the evaporator is basically sitting. What the hell is causing all these things to freaking leak, man? Like the house is 10 years
control and cheap manufacturing. Let's be real.
Well, you know something, about 30 years ago, Carrier was making aluminum coils that are still out there today. Those things were the bomb.
How are you doing that? I want to know how to do that.
I want a bubble.
It's like hand gestures, but I don't know how it works.
Those old Carrier
Nothing came up.
Nothing will pop up. Yeah.
Those old Carrier aluminum coils were great, and I thought when everybody was going to aluminum that would be the.
You talking the one that looks like a heater?
No.
It's like it's a solid piece of aluminum, but then it had like almost like rings all the way around, like towards the end. Like
no. It was the predecessor to the slab coils that were in at an angle, but they were made out of aluminum.
Oh, okay.
Purely residential is what I've seen them in, and
really comes down to installation.
But those things that I know some places where they're still in use and they're over 30-something years old, and I thought when aluminum coils came out that we were going to a better technology because of those. That ain't the case. That ain't the case.
American dreams, make it cheap, sell it expensive.
Oh, yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, I've already seen the aluminum in the trains. That's where I see it on the evaporator and the condenser. All the way through.
Are they still using those like pipe cleaner, spiny fin coils on the condensers?
I don't know.
I haven't even seen those. We don't see them.
Came out with a new. They just revamped their XVs and all that. I don't know. I'm sure they do it because they use that as their proprietary coil. That's so special.
That shit's hard to clean. I wish I wouldn't use that,
dude. Especially if you're by like a damn field.
Aren't you supposed to like catch it on fire or something?
I wish I could remember that there was a brand. I want to say what I think it is, and then I'd be wrong. There was a commercial unit. It rhymes with rain. Apparently they were putting some kind of chemical inside, has some kind of additive, and it was causing all the expansion valves to go up.
No, they definitely were. Didn't they already come out about that or something?
Oh yeah.
No, I couldn't remember the manufacturer, and like I've gotten in trouble the past couple months for saying things.
You are so funny.
You talking about like in the compressors to keep it from rusting or something?
Rust inhibitor,
yeah. Because all the oils, actually, if you didn't know this, all the oils are basically the same. Like it doesn't matter if it's Bitzer or Copeland or MCRET or whoever's oil, it's all the same oil. The only difference is the additives that are added to it that makes it different. There's like I think one or two oil manufacturers, and they're just like, here, take this, and then they're like, this person might sprinkle some of this in here, some person might sprinkle some of this in there. Yeah, Jason's got it. It was rust inhibitor. I couldn't remember, man.
What? Yeah.
Curtis, you got a
saludos y bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos.
Curtis has a whole Spanish channel going on right now too.
I'm trying to.
Speaks it better than all the rest of us.
My wife swore that shit was AI, bro. She was like, "This is not him."
Not with all the mistakes that I make.
We don't know that.
A couple days ago,
you can't even ask Google about that because like Spanish is so different when you speak it versus like looking up a translation.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, it's a lot. and then each like I guess Latin or Hispanic community, they all have their own different way of saying things too. So it's like,
Yeah, I've been watching this guy some Spanish channels on HVAC, and there's this fellow named Pepe. And
I haven't seen that one.
well, Pepe, he speaks in American Spanish, and he calls
Spanglish.
a heater or a furnace, he calls it a calentón. When the right word is calefacción.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of like stuff like that where it's like
cabron. No,
kind of like slang for it and everything, or what area you're from. It's all the same, but it's all different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do enjoy his videos. He speaks very fast, and it's hard for me if somebody's speaking really fast with they can lose me.
So where do you live, Gers? Where do you live?
Georgia, South Georgia.
Okay.
I know you said you like learned from somewhere you were working at, right? The Spanish.
Yeah, I was.
But like,
working
was that Georgia or was that somewhere else?
in Georgia? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'm learning from Hispanics, which means it's people from all over Central and South America. But the majority of them were Mexicans. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we got a big PR population here, and like it's just funny. It's like so different. Like, and then you got the Cubans, the PRs, and then you got the Mexicans.
Jason.
And they're like, that's exactly.
Wait a minute.
Well,
Jason knows Spanish.
I was confused when I moved to Texas because I was like, I didn't know what to ask. I'm like, Puerto Rican or Mexican? I didn't know. Like, I mean, I'm from the East Coast. Like, this was the first time when I moved to Texas, like being out past this area.
Just don't assume that a Hispanic is Mexican.
Oh, I know that.
That pisses a lot of people off.
Shit, don't they? I learned that in
Yeah, we
Spanish
do.
101 in 9th grade because she was married to a Hispanic man, and she made sure to make sure you say you not that, and yeah, it's funny. They do.
I don't talk to my dad anymore, but like he's been married 5 times and he's learned a language with every single wife. So I've learned a little bit of everything. He said his first language that he learned was bitch. That was my mom, and I was like, "Well, wait, what?" The second one was Arabic because she was Egyptian. Third one was Korean. Fourth one was Spanish, and the last one was she's deaf. That's how I know sign language, right? And I said, "Why'd you stop at sign language?" I was like, "You're always into blonde hair, blue eye, Eastern European chicks." He's like, "Cause it's awesome. Because if I don't want to talk to her, I was like this is." I know, hear you, bitch. I was like, that's probably why you've been married 5 times, bro.
That's so terrible.
I know, but guess what? She can't hear, so which
That's good.
My stepmom, I can say what I want.
No love lost. It's all good.
Stop with the damn Yankee stuff. It's only funny the first 4 times you say it, Jason.
See, how do you guys do that shit? I can't look.
Why is he calling you a damn Yankee? Because you came to Texas from up north.
Yeah,
I guess that is the definition of
damn Yankee. Isn't he from Buffalo?
I don't know. He's like I think he just likes a bad football team. I think that's what it is. I'm waiting for the response.
In California too, wasn't he? Well. Yeah, see, I can't keep up.
We got 2 more to go. He must be talking about marriage.
Hey, Curtis, what the hell am I looking at over here?
Okay.
Lunch from yesterday.
The tenant at this particular apartment she cooks in grease all the time, and she throws her food and her grease out the back door.
That Jamaican flag right there, though?
On top of the meter. I had to go out there and check, make sure the gas was on, and it was disgusting.
Yeah. What the hell?
That was nasty.
Can't work on that. Nope.
And I showed that picture to their landlords.
Oh, yeah.
Got him.
Wait,
do you have a video on this? Because I think I saw like the thumbnail.
Yeah, there's a video on this on my Spanish channel.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I need to go check that out.
What the heck?
What the hell?
No, don't talk to me.
Listen, Beastie Boys.
No, my phone. I have to
Sounds
have
like
the
an
most-
old school iPhone or something.
No. Shut up. I'm not that old. No, I have to have an obnoxious call, so I know it's me. Because everyone else has the same like tone. You know what I mean? So we were talking about leaks before, and I just want to show you a big leak. You want to see a big leak?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can share your screen. Present.
Whoa!
No, it wasn't that kind of picture. Window. Right here. Adrian, we talked about CO2 before, right? This right here is so when you use CO2 on the main discharge
Aren't you
line.
on a laptop, Curtis? I mean, Jake.
Yeah,
Can you see?
dude, my eyesight's so bad. I got
All
it.
right.
You're good. Just do what you gotta do. I'm just here for a good time.
All right. So this right here. So the copper that's used in CO2 is it's called XHP, extreme high pressure. So it's actually ironclad. So if you take a magnet, it'll actually try to stick to it because it has iron in it. And this was an example when you use a fitting that wasn't supposed to be used. This is just a regular K copper fitting that was put on an HXP line. And apparently, from what I was told, the graph.
Wait a minute. That's a copper fitting.
Yeah,
it looks like a piece of paper.
Yeah, that took me a while to figure that out right now.
Yeah, here, let me zoom in a little bit more.
Zoom in all the way. Oh, there we go.
Enhance. So right here. So if you look right here, like this was where the reducing coupling was. And so what happened was the gauge, something happened with the HPV valve. No, Kraus, it's not that kind of HPV, high pressure valve. It's not the HPV that you're thinking of. So anyway, so what happened was this shit hit 1740, and then this fitting wasn't the XHP fitting, and it just basically filleted open. So the pressure went from 1740 to 0 really, really damn quick.
Damn.
Oh,
that's epic.
Was somebody standing by it when it happened? That would have been
They were not. This is an air handler. Okay. So a lot of times with, any kind of supermarket, right, we try to use the excess discharge gas, to de-superheat it a little bit for heat reclaim. So we utilize discharge gas, so there's not so much of a load on the condenser, or in this case, a gas cooler. And so this is a heat reclaim coil inside an air handler. So when they install the discharge line to the heat reclaim coil, they use the reducing coupling, which essentially then filleted and did that.
That's rough.
That's crazy, right?
I've never seen a fitting do
Stratus
that.
wouldn't have picked it up though. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I thought I did something in 3 off or something. I was like, what did I do?
No, I was trying to. I didn't know if you could take it off, so I was trying to take it off, and I took off Curtis by accident.
Shots fired.
The right tech. Hooray! Maybe another point for commercial. Commercial is nasty too. I don't know. Like I think he's referring to Curtis's picture.
That picture.
Yeah.
Oh my word, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Let me pull up. I had somebody submit a picture, so let's look at that real quick.
Thanks for the submission.
Jason, you are right.
If you guys want to send anything to our email, we'll post it up on the show. I don't deal with a lot of rodents. So you guys deal with rodents? That's a rat.
Oh.
On what looks like a mini split, maybe.
That's a dead rat.
It ain't alive, Curtis. Yeah.
Oh,
that's a snitch. That's
do y'all deal with? Oh well, Curtis had the lizard. You want to talk about that one?
Oh,
and it wasn't dead.
Oh, no, y'all didn't see this yet. Today I posted a video of an inducer draft motor that was in a residential situation and it wasn't turning. So I pulled it out to see if there's anything in it. And when I pulled it out, a little anole lizard jumped out and ran.
You said, "Dang, about time!"
And I was able to catch it and take it outside. But that was the main thing keeping it from turning was that lizard.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A bunch of little bugs too.
Oh yeah, that's right. But that happens everywhere because I think I was on somebody's TikTok live the other night, and we were talking about rodents and stuff. And it happens everywhere because I work in restaurants, fast food chains.
That's where you
Um,
don't want it.
Yeah, I know. I tell them about it. That's if they want to call pest control, it's up to them. We were changing out the condenser, I think condenser evaporator on a walk-in box at a pizza place, and my cousin at the time was our helper or apprentice. So we sent him up into the attic. You got to move over the ceiling tiles, hop on top of the box, run the line set, anchor the evaporator, all that stuff. So he was in there. A few minutes later, I heard the highest pitch scream I've ever heard, and he's like asking for help, and we're trying to go up the ladder, like what the hell's going on? And he saw a rat up there, and he couldn't get away from it. It was like chasing him up there. And I was like, dude, please, you're almost done. Just get the work done. Get those bolts in and come back down.
That's funny.
Oh my god!
I don't think I ever found a dead vermin like up in a unit, but I found a dead drug addict trying to get ammonia out of a farm.
Fact.
Really?
Yeah, because they use anhydrous ammonia. So they thought they could just get a bucket and fill it up.
Let's go. Wait
a minute.
Done.
Wait a minute. Are they using this for meth or something? What are they using it for?
For meth.
Okay.
I did have a raccoon go through the ductwork and fall on the heater kit and fried it up.
Oh my god, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it stunk.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I was like, "What the hell's the smell coming from?"
Then
you
they got
can't see it when you got the air handler there.
Yeah, like the last one I had, I was like, "What the hell's this smell?" Because I had to go up. The ladder access is inside your roof hatch and everything. There was a dead rat in the roof hatch where the handle was or something, because there's like a little lip. And I was like, can you guys, take care of this? It smells like shit up here every time I come up here. And it took them a while, but they finally got it recently.
No, I'm good. I had went to a mobile home.
Just don't ask me where to eat or what.
Yeah,
what
we know. That's what you got to start.
They always say never work at your favorite restaurant.
Hell no.
Yeah, this is true. Anyways, was working at a mobile home. They said it was stinking. I was like, all right, cool, yeah, packaging it. Go under there. My possum, dead right there, middle of the pack. The mobile home. I was like, yeah, man, you got to get a exterminator out here to get that. I'm not climbing under there for that. And she was like, well, I don't have the money right now. I said, I'm not doing it.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not going. So like the boss man was like, hey, you think you can go under there and get outside? I'm not. No. Like, I don't know. Some people will do it. I didn't do it. You know what I mean? So did not do it.
I've been under a house and there'd be a dead cat down there.
Yeah.
And it was in my video. Everybody's saying, oh my God, you see that dead cat? And I didn't see it. It was right there. I'm on my way out after working on this air handler, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a dead cat right there. And it was like 3 feet from me.
That's hilarious.
So, Curtis, that makes me, now I'm thinking that I actually have seen dead animals and I didn't even remember. So I didn't know, when I was told I was doing a PM at an SPCA, I didn't really think about like the other part of the SPCA, right? So I'm going in a freezer and I'm playing Helen Keller trying to find where the light switch is inside the freezer, and I kick a bag and then I kick another bag. I'm like, what the hell do you have on the floor? I hit the thing, and there's garbage bags of animals, and I was like,
cemetery in there.
That's what the oven was for. Jesus, now I understand.
Oh,
terrible, bro.
That's why, like, we have hospital work. I try to just stay in the kitchen because I don't want to deal with.
Have you ever? Have you ever?
No, one of our guys has.
Have you ever?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you have? Yeah, I didn't get that call.
Go into the cold drawer, the freeze drawer where they stick the bodies. Oh. There's evaporator fans back there, bro.
You gotta take care of them.
Are you shitting?
What do you think happens, dude? You gotta refrigerate a
body. Just move them to another fucking freezer, bro. Got climbed.
Yeah, they've had us, or they've wanted us to do that. I think one time one of our guys went, but that was the only time.
So I was just telling a story. I used to work at a chocolate plant for like 5 years. So I worked for a company, but like I ended up becoming like the main cat that would go there every day. Yeah, yeah. And they had this, they take the raw cocoa bean and they make all kinds of different products, right? They actually make cocoa butter for lotions. They make, regular chocolate, big chocolate bars, chocolate powder, a whole bunch of stuff like the nonpareils and stuff. And they had this thing called the tunnel, which had like 25 5-fan bone evaporators that are staggered, right? So like every 5 feet, it'd be staggered, and you had 25 of them going down a tunnel. But the reason why is because when you cool down chocolate, you have to stage it. Because otherwise, have you ever had chocolate in there for your kids in the fridge? And after a little bit, it turns that yellowish white color. That's actually the cocoa butter actually extruding out of the product, because you're chilling it too fast. So anyways, I'm sorry. I was working on in there in summertime, and it was about 120 degrees inside because there's these big vats of chocolate that need to stay hot. Otherwise, they will congeal, and then you have a 15,000 pound bar of chocolate in this tank that you can't get out, right? And it was really hot, and I was like, oh, well, I got probably 15 fans to change out. And I remember pulling the door behind me. I was like, man, it's really comfortable in here. And that's the last thing I remember. And then I woke up. I'm like, I am freezing my ass off. Where the hell am I? And I saw, I pulled the door shut. It didn't have an inside handle. And I was like, where am I? I kicked it out. I'm like, oh, I wonder I'm cold. I fell asleep in the tunnel because it was probably like 6 foot wide and, probably about.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard you talk about that.
Oh, sorry.
Dang, that sounds. You just fell asleep? There wasn't nothing that made you go to sleep, like too much carbon dioxide or something? I mean,
no. It was 120 degrees in the facility. I was doing other work and on some of the other chillers and some of the areas. And I was just like, I need to find a place to chill out, like somewhere where I could justify doing work. And so I was like, well, I had a whole bunch of fan motors to change out in there. So
I got
okay.
I used to take a nap at a job. It was overnight. I was working on big, they were called SEPA machines, and it was just injection blow mold. And it had like a cavity, like with levels to this shit. And I'd go up on the top, lay a cardboard box down, fucking pass out. And my brother worked there with me. He'd go up, he'd like, he'd startle the shit out of me saying something. But dude, those 12-hour overnights were terrible. You got to sneak one away somewhere.
Dude, working at the chocolate plant, I remember my wife was pregnant at the time when I came in the door one time, and literally, like, I guess a breeze like came up behind me, and she could work. I would take a shower, and it looked like Nestle Quick was coming out of my the bathtub would be brown.
Well, it could be worse. There's a dog food plant not far from here, and they use chicken guts. The place stinks to high heaven. You can't even drive by it without feeling like you're gonna puke.
I worked at a turkey slaughtering place too, and that was that you'd always come home smelling like that, like burnt.
Or the rendering room, Kraus. The rendering room. It was where like all the old feet and stuff.
Bro, I don't know why.
What?
Why even? No, go ahead. Why I took the job?
No. So I changed out a evaporator coil with this old timer, and he's using Stay Bright. I had never seen anyone braze an expansion valve in with Stay Bright. I was like, that's like solder. He's like, yeah, but it's strong. It's awesome. I'm like, aren't you afraid of getting like a bead in the expansion valve? I've been doing this 20 or 30 years, kid. I've never seen that shit happen, Fucker went on vacation that next day. Guess what happened? Rendering room. They didn't have any product in when we were in there. Now we had to put an extension ladder up in order to change out. Yeah. So I'm going like this, and I'm like, I'm like, I don't even know what to do. So I called a buddy of mine who's a detective out in Staten Island. I was like, dude, what do you do for the dead bodies? He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, it's not like that. I was like, I just need to know something's real bad, and I explained the whole situation. And I was like, I just need something. He's like, get yourself some Vicks Vapor Rub and shovel that shit up your nose. I'm like. And I'm like stinging there, like with a turbo torch, trying to fucking, get the expansion valve out.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Oh no, absolutely, just wretched.
Great, and he enjoys it.
But then, to say, hey, just so you know that I had to change out the expansion valve. Well, why? What was in it? Stay Bright.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bullshit.
I've tried to use the Stay Bright one time, and I decided I'm gonna keep soldering. I might do some press joints, but I'm not going to use the Stay Bright.
I have it. I feel like I need to practice with it or something because like I know some guys swear by it, but I don't like it.
I'm a little bit afraid of it, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure it's going to
Yeah.
hold.
I just want to start pressing. I'm tired of brazing, so
Talk to Paul.
yeah, I need to. Paul, if you're listening,
Who's Paul?
RLS.
Oh,
The founder, president, whatever.
well, RLS is the only one that hadn't reached out to me because I bought their product. I bought my first set, and
I don't know if they reach out to people. I think you usually have to go talk to them or something because that's how I did it.
but I enjoy the press tools when it's appropriate. Some people ask me, why are you still brazing when you've got the press tools? And I'm like, well, sometimes you can't get a press tool that's this big
Yeah.
into the condenser or something. You've got to braze.
So I
You
know
gotta have options.
I know we all have ADHD, but I just thought of something because we were talking about leaks like 40 minutes ago. So on residential, like a lot of times you guys are using scrolls, right? And a lot of the condensing units, and a lot of times the discharge line will go 90 and just go straight down. Have you guys ever had where it like basically snaps off there at the discharge line?
I've had
Nope.
leaks there.
I've never had it.
So I will share something that might help. So especially with refrigeration, Adrian, I don't know if you've seen this, like sometimes on a unit that runs with OWN has sometimes the service valve will actually snap off right, like the copper will snap right where the service valve is. And sometimes it'll just do it profusely, regardless if there's any kind of, if there's no vibration or whatever, it still is doing it. What you can do to kind of, combat that a little bit if a repeat offender, is put a vibration eliminator. Because remember, vibration eliminator is basically that thing that looks like a muffler.
Yeah.
Those are always supposed to be installed, basically parallel with the crankshaft, right? So if we have a semi-hermetic, right, it's going to be parallel with this, right? But if you have a scroll, crankshaft's here. So if you install that fitting here, that little shake that it does, then that way the muffler or the vibration eliminator will take that a little bit of that bend out, or you know what I mean, where it won't put so much stress on that service valve and snap it off.
I've seen what Jason sees, all those hairline cracks.
Yep, you can get them with a bubble search. Yep,
all the time.
So whenever you do have a crack, a hairline crack, and if let's just say you're not going to replace it, because a lot of guys are like, I'll just braze over it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to braze over it, that's fine. But one of the things you should do to prevent it from continuing to crack is what I call terminating the crack. Okay, so if your crack is this far, if your crack's about that far, then what you're going to do is take a small little drill bit at the beginning and the end of the crack, and that'll basically reduce the stress that's already at a tight point. So are you going to have more stress here at a tight point or more stress around something that's round you, right? So if you drill into where it's cracked,
I had an aluminum one that I tried to repair like a long time ago, and it ran again. So then, they wanted a new coil at that point, but I never thought about that, like terminating the crack. That's a good point.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Crack termination.
All right, guys. We're over an hour. I don't want to keep anybody. I know it's football night.
it is
Ravens.
Not at my house.
We're the Ravens.
4-1-0, baby. Let's go. Ravens.
Oh, I don't care.
AFC North. Come on.
No.
My boys.
If Georgia ain't playing, I'm probably not watching.
I'm gonna leave it on Mike B's advice. Don't ask ice for drinks when you're out. Those things are nastier than hell.
Oh, I know.
We can talk about that another time. But if you guys have anything else you want to quickly go over or say before we head out, I think we can close this one out.
Nope.
Appreciate
nice to meet you,
guys.
Brett.
Thanks for coming in there, Wetzel.
Yeah, we'll have to
get
continue.
annoying, right?
What's that?
That's got to get annoying, right?
What's that?
Bretzel.
I've only heard it since kindergarten. So
yeah, exactly. It's like,
you remember that? That was like what, about 10 years ago, right?
13. Get it together.
Oh my god!
All right, guys.
Unbelievable.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate
Y'all
everybody that
take
came
care.
out. Thanks,
Have a
Brett, for
good-
coming on.
Later, guys.
See you guys.
Have a good
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.